everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is almost the end of September. Yay! How very exciting. We've almost made it through the month. We've almost made it through the year. The year is almost over. 2020 is almost done. Yay. Although I'm not anticipating 21 being all that much better, unless of course they release the Breath of the Wild 2 sequel. Or the Breath of the Wild sequel. Breath of the Wild 2. That game. I'd be very interested to see that game. Hey, before we get started, because we're about to talk Mythic Heroes in September, subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. There's actually a link in the description now. I have been on YouTube for about 5 years. Never put one of those in my description. I'm an idiot, clearly. But we are trying to hit 10K by the end of the year. Help me make 2020 a little less awful for myself if you'd like to help contribute to my happiness. We are trying to hit 10K. I believe we unlock stories at that point over here. I don't know what I would use stories for, but I want them, and I'll make them for something. What that is yet, I don't know. But we'll never know unless we hit 10K. So help me achieve that. We also have some goal stuff set up every 1,000 benchmark, with the first one starting at 7K, which we're a couple hundred away from at this point. So that would be awesome if you'd like to help out. There is a link in the description for that. Let's talk who's guaranteed, I guess, to be here. So we have the September Hero roster already, and there are lots of Leafs. We have Leaf, we have Selleaf. They are both in red. We have Ephraim and Lucina in blue. We have Yoon and Silica in green. We have Duma in colorless, along with other Leaf, who is colorless. So, lots of Leafs, many Leafs. Looking at the pool as it stands before we look at any like potential 5-star normal exclusives that'll be added in, and of course the Mythic candidate. I genuinely think red is probably the strongest of the pool members so far, just because Leaf is really nice, and Selleaf is also really, really good. Blue is a little outdated in my opinion. Not to say that they are bad. A little outdated. Green is also decently strong. Yoon is a good unit. Silica, of course, very, very strong. Duma is not bad. He's not bad. I don't see him very frequently in AR, which leads me to believe that there are better options out there. Of course, unless you're running a particular strat. And then, of course, Leaf is just dumb. He's so dumb. Anytime I see him, I'm just like, it's about to happen again, isn't it? And it does. It very much does. He just triples me, and then I'm sad and alone. KCB AR in a nutshell. So as it looks, I think red is definitely probably the strongest. At least for me personally, I don't see a downside to pulling on red there. Colorless is also not bad. Leaf definitely ups the ante, but having Duma there, you know, he's more of a, he's not a hot or cold pick. He's just kind of a not that bad if you get it type of deal, you know. Green is also pretty decent as well. I would kind of put green and colorless on the same bar, I guess, except I think Leaf is probably a better option 9 times out of 10 because he's just bonkers. And then blue, of course, is a little outdated. We got some older heroes there. Something that's interesting about this particular layout, and I don't know that this is a pattern that IS is going to be moving towards or what, but did help me kind of pick out a honorable mention, I guess, for the Mythic Hero this month, and that is that every other color has a Mythic represented outside of blue. So if we had a blue Mythic Hero, for example, we would have a Mythic in every color, and I just don't know if that's something they're trying to do or want to do, but it's something worth pointing out, I guess, if they move towards that. But as we move into banner predictions, let me just be frank. I think, in all honesty, that we're looking at a red hero this month. Why do I think that? Well, my conspiracy theory, if it should prove true, would back that up, which I had been thinking about for a couple days now. Top that off with the fact that we just had the Iceberg banner today, as I'm recording on Thursday. Let me back up a bit. So last month, I was absolutely robbed of a perfect prediction when IS chose to include Fallen Ike instead of Midori. Fallen units shouldn't have been in last month. They should have started this month, but they started last month with Ike. Midori, rightfully so, showed up on a skills banner this month, and that's why she wasn't in the banner last month. I get it. I'm still salty about it, but I get it. So that leads us to the fact that, well, now that we're looking at Fallen Heroes, who would be the next candidates? And that's everybody but Ike. So Leon, Corrin, Julia. Fallen Julia would have been the right candidate this month, except she's now on a skills banner. The next red candidate after that would have been Sayri, who was also on the skills banner. The Iceberg banner itself has Sayri, Fallen Julia, and Fiora. So in one banner, days before the Mythic shows up, they kind of knocked out the next two red candidates that were plausible. And if you're keeping track, that means that male Chris is the next red candidate that we're going to have as a normal 5-star hero show up in these monthly banners. That's not an old banner. You know, that mystery banner was relatively recent with the Chris's and the Julians. So I genuinely don't think they're going to skip that far ahead. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I think with that, they're kind of saying, hey, it's pretty obvious it's going to be red because we just knocked off the two options moving forward that would be a normal 5-star red unit. So there's that. So that kind of backed up and confirmed what I had been thinking ahead of time. So I think the Mythic this month is red. We'll talk about who that is at the very end. But blue. Obviously, I just got done talking about the Fallen units that are possibilities. Corrin is there. He is here. He is blue. He is a dragon. He is sad. And he has little purple steam flames all around him. And so why wouldn't he join the ranks of Ephraim and Lucina? It makes perfect sense. Next up, we've also got Fallen Leon, who would, I guess, pair well with two other tome users in the green pool. Why not? So that would kind of round out blue and green. And then we're left with colorless, which is a bit of a predicament, if I may be so blunt. If you recall, this is where I'm basing this prediction on, because the next colorless unit that we have in terms of reasonableness would also be Julian, who is again on that Chris banner. And I just don't think they're going to debut them that soon, because it's literally that banner and then Braves. And Braves was literally just weeks ago that it happened. So I don't think they're going to throw Julian in the mix yet. I don't think. What I think might be a likely possibility is they start showing us a previous year's banner that's coming up. So if you recall a couple months ago, there was this weird random thing where we had Fallen Female Corrin, right? And that was in July. I think July is when that happened. And then August came and we had Fallen Ike, right? So we didn't really have a colorless candidate in July. Corrin showed up. We were like, hey, this is weird. Why is there just a random Fallen Corrin here? This is female Fallen Corrin, who is colorless, by the way. And next month, we ended up getting Fallen Ike, which would have been the first introduction of the current year's Fallen banner, kind of preceded by a representative from last year's Fallen banner. So I think what they might do with this is, and they do this with the double specials as well, if you follow those, which we'll have another one of those coming up this month too. Man, I got a lot of stuff to do. I do double special predictions as well. Kind of my forte. So I think that what we're dealing with now is likely a lead into this year's Brave banner. So bear with me. I think the final colorless unit that we're going to have this month is Brave Camilla. So she was last year's colorless Brave unit. I think she's going to show up, and then they're going to slowly start introducing the Brave units in the next couple months. Kind of like what they did with Fallen Female Corrin, and then Ike showed up. Something like that. So that, I think, is your general roster that you're looking at. I don't think it really changes my opinion too much on the benefits. I think the Fallen units, which are, generally speaking, strong on their own right, only enhances the pools, to be honest. So green is still looking good, red is still looking good, blue looks a little bit better now. And colorless still has leaf, so there's that. Doesn't matter. So that's who I think we're going to be seeing. Red is still my prediction, but I did give an honorable mention to someone, and that someone was Freyr. Freyr is blue. He has, I think, died in that. I guess this is where I should start to give a spoiler warning, right? So as we talk about the mythic candidate for this month, and if you didn't know Freyr died, that is another thing, I guess. But this is where, if you haven't played all of the story chapters in FEH, you might want to skedaddle. Which would be a shame, because then you wouldn't know who the next mythic is going to be. But Freyr is technically written out of the story at this point. I don't think that's true, because of a little revelation that Alphonse had at the end of this last chapter. But he's technically gone. And he could be blue, and that would give us a blue mythic. And then that would round out that little conspiracy theory. I don't know who they would put for red. Alm, maybe? I don't know. Brave Alm. But I don't think it's Freyr. He's getting an honorable mention from me. That's it. That's all it is. Who I think we're going to have as our newest mythic hero, Plumeria. Yeah, it's better. Alright, so now that I have my tinfoil hat on, let's talk about my conspiracy theory and why I think it's Plumeria. So, if you recall, Plumeria died in the most recent chapter. And not just like, oh no, I'm dead. She's like dead. She is super deadsy. So, what I think that means is, she died in September of 2020. Why is that important? Because Thrasir died in August of 2019. And you're like, but Brian, those are 2 different months. Why does that matter? Because we got Legendary Julia in August of 2019. And it wasn't a Mythic banner that month. It was a Legendary banner that month. And Julia showed up just to be a troll. And I'll tell you why that's important in just a second. Because Thrasir ended up being the Mythic hero in 2019, September 2019. Flash forward to September 2020, and we have Resplendent Julia showing up. There's another Julia preceding another mythic hero. Isn't that coincidence? It's not. It's truth, and it's real life. And then, oh, by the way, the last mythic hero that we had was Hell. Hell just popped up and said, oh, hi. And then, do you know why Hell was there? Hell was there because Julia had already come around. Okay? She knew Julia was coming. All right? And Hell just showed up because, oh, someone's going to die. And now they can because Julia's here and then I'm here. And so, Plumeria, you're dead. Welcome to the Mythic roster. Yeah. I know, right? I'm like so smart. So smart. So obviously that is kind of where I'm at. Is it right? I don't know, man. I'd like to think that it is. But this is what I think your roster is going to look like in general. Obviously, the top section is pretty much locked in. The middle section gets a little bit mucky. Don't really know what's going to happen with Colorless. Possibly Brave Camilla, maybe something else. If anything, it's likely going to be a random unit or just the random Mythic Hero this month. But I don't think they'll do that. But what I am fairly confident about is that it's going to be Mythic Plumeria. That's it. That's all I got for you. So, listen. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, leave a like. If you believe in my crazy conspiracy theory, then go right ahead. Genuinely speaking, I feel like the fact that, Thraseer became a mythic unit immediately following her death on the next possible mythic banner. Same thing's probably going to happen with Plumeria. Generally speaking, if they were to add Plumeria, Triandra, the Freya, if they were to do that every month sequentially from here on out, I think it would end in March. So I don't think it's too early to start adding them because they're probably not doing that. They're going to space them out. We know how long it took us to get Hell, right? But that particular book didn't really have this many antagonists. It was really just Hell. That was it. That was it. And then Leaf and Thraseer, but they were added early. They were added relatively soon within the end of their book. So, and in fact, Thraseer was actually added before the end of the book. So, yeah, just something to think about. Hey, subscribe if you haven't. I do this stuff a lot. If you like it, come on back. Be sure to leave a comment. Who do you think we're going to be seeing as our mythic candidate? Who do you want to see on the banner? Who are you hoping to see on the banner? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support. And until then, I will catch you next time.